Hey there, my name is Rusty Sosha with Turn Sideways Games, and I want to thank you for checking out the rules video for Taco Ninja Adventure. So, what we're playing with here today is the deluxe version of the game. The base version comes with all of these player cards here, the Taco Ninja cards, your reference cards, the attack cards, and the item cards. It also comes with the life trackers here, your life tracker markers here, the special ability markers, your rules card, the rules, a box, a bag, and these dice. The deluxe version comes with these additional custom meeples, this first player indicator, these special player mats, and these standees. So now that you kind of understand the components, let's get into the gameplay. So Taco Ninja Adventure is a team-based game, so you and your teammate will play against the other team, and the object of the game is to put the other Taco Ninjas into the afterlife, both of them on the team into the afterlife. So let's get started. The person that smells most like ground beef, they get to determine if they want to pick a Taco Ninja first, or if they want the other team to pick a Taco Ninja first. So let's say that this is team number 1 over here, player 1 sitting here, player 2 sitting here. This is team number 1 over here, player 1 sitting here, and player 2 is sitting here. Alright, so player 1 on team 1 says, hey, you know what? I want the Fire Taco. So he's going to take the Fire Taco card and the Fire Taco life tracker here, player mat, and then it passes over to the beefy, or to the team player 1 on team 2. He takes the beefy Taco Ninja and the standee. Alright, we got this. We'll face him this way so that everyone can see what's happening. And then it passes over here. Player 2 on team 1 says, I want the Zen Taco Ninja. He takes that. And then the team over here, they take the Sneaky Taco for their second Taco Ninja. And then gets that. And we got this here. The rest of the Taco Ninjas that aren't used, the Ancient and the Nerdy Taco, are removed from the game. So we'll place these over here. These get removed. And because this team picked first, this team gets to go first, and they get to determine which of their 2 Taco Ninjas is going to take the first turn. They'll just say that the Beefy Taco is going to take the first turn, so he gets the first player medallion. This is, again, a deluxe edition feature. Alright, so he's got the medallion. Let's spread this out so that we can kind of utilize the whole table here. And we'll get going with the game. So there's 2 places that you can be in Taco Ninja Adventure. You can either be on the field of battle, or you can be back in the dojo training. So let's talk a little bit about what that means. On the field of battle, so on your turn you can always do one of 2 things. You can decide if you're going to move locations. You can either move between the field of battle and the dojo. The dojo is back. So if you're just using the base game and you don't have these standees, you just move your card back, and all the cards are stationed here in the middle. So it's back is the dojo, front is the field of battle. If you're on the field of battle, you get to attack the other team. So let's talk about what an attack looks like. Everybody knows these base attack abilities. If you roll a 3 of a kind, you deal 2 damage, a 4 of a kind deals 4 damage, a full house is 5 damage, and a 5 of a kind is 9 damage. If you happen to roll 4 in a row, that's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, you heal 2 damage, and if you roll 5 in a row, you heal yourself 4. Alright, so an attack looks like this. The Beefy Taco's up first. He says, hey, I'm going to attack the Fire Taco. He's going to roll the die 3 times, keeping any combination of dice over the course of the 3 rolls. So he's got 2 4s. He will roll again. He's got a couple 6s and a 3. He really wants to hit something, so he rolls again. Alright, he didn't make anything happen because he's rolled 2 pairs. Now, there is something that he didn't make any damage happen, but he did roll 2 pairs, so he gets an item card. So we'll explain what that looks like in a second, but he would get that for his turn, and then his turn would be over. Alright, so that is attacking another Taco Ninja. Now, instead of attacking on your turn, you can choose to go back to the dojo and train. So everybody has access to the cards in the dojo. So there's attack cards and item cards. If you're in the dojo, what you do on your turn is you draw a card. So there's going to be 3 cards face up here in the dojo for the attack cards. And then there are going to be a pile of item cards. I want to make sure that you guys can see that, so I'll move these guys forward a little bit. So 1 symbol means that it takes 1 turn to learn. 2 symbols means that it takes 2 turns to learn. And what this does is it increases the number of ways that you can deal damage. So now, for instance, if the Beefy Taco had rolled a full house and he happened to know this Pepper Punch, which deals an additional 3 damage for an odd 3 of a kind. He has an odd 3 of a kind with these 3 5s. He would deal 3 damage for the Pepper Punch, plus his base attack, which is a full house because he's got the full house here. That is an additional 5 damage for a total of 8. Now, if he happened to know both of these attacks, the Atomic Punch and the Pepper Punch, and he rolled that full house, he would deal 5 damage for the base attack, plus an additional 6 spicy damage. The spiciness is the fire icon behind the damage there. So he's got 11 damage plus 3 for that odd 3 of a kind to make it 14 damage, and that's huge because every Taco Ninja starts off with 30 life. And you mark that here with your special custom meeples if you're in the deluxe version of the game. And then you would mark that here using the this wooden cube and the base copy of the game with this life tracker card. So that is big. If a Taco Ninja happens to go below 15 life, they can no longer heal above 15. So you kind of want to watch that. And if a Taco Ninja dies, they go to the Afterlife. So in the Afterlife, on your turn, instead of attacking, what you do is you roll the dice just as you would, but there's a new set of moves that you do. If you happen to roll a 4 of a kind or a 5 of a kind, or sorry, if you happen to roll a 4 in a row or a 5 in a row, you heal your teammate if they're still alive on the battlefield. If you happen to roll a 5 of a kind, you get to come back to the battlefield as a Nacho Ninja with all of your attacks that you learned in the game. So that's what happens in the Afterlife. Every Taco Ninja, they start off the game with 2 item cards, and we will deal those out now and kind of talk about what those look like and what they do. So we'll shuffle these up before we deal them out. Whenever, as I'm shuffling this up, we'll say this: whenever an attack is taken from the dojo and starting to be learned by a player, you always replace it. So there's always going to be 3 out here. You can always draw from the top of the attack card pile if you don't like anything here, but you just don't know what it is. All right, so let's talk about item cards. Each of these players, we're just going to do it face up so that you can see, but typically you would play with these face down in your hand. If you're in the same location as your teammate, so both on the battlefield or both in the dojo, you can share item cards at any time. You can play 1 item card per turn, and you can do that on anybody's turn. Item cards take effect immediately when they're played. So this will go back away. Again, if you are in the dojo and you're not drawing a attack card, you're drawing an item card. These attack cards take 1 turn to learn, and so these attack cards take 2 turns to learn. And on the second turn where you're learning this attack, because you can only learn 1 attack at a time, you draw an item card while you're learning this tier 2 move on the second turn that you're learning it. But we'll talk about that more in a second. So let's play a couple rounds because you pretty much have the basics of the rules here, and we'll kind of give you a feel for what the game looks like. But before we do that, let's talk about special abilities, and I'll just highlight this briefly because there's other abilities over here that you're not going to see. Every Taco Ninja has a unique special ability. The Zen Taco Ninja, whenever he lands an attack, he can heal himself or his teammate for 2 health. The Fire Taco, whenever she lands an attack, if she has a 6 included in the final selection of the die, so let's say 3 5s and a 6, she gets to draw an item card. So that's anytime she lands an attack. The Beefy Taco, anytime he has one of these higher tier attacks, so a 4 of a kind, a full house, or a 5 of a kind, he actually gains a attack power for his next attack. So now, if you were to roll a 3 of a kind on the next turn, instead of dealing just 2 damage for the base attack, it would actually deal 3 damage. And anytime he rolls one of these higher order attacks, it increases the number by 1 for his damage. And you mark that on your life tracker here. The Sneaky Taco has an ability similar to the Fire Taco, where if a 1 is included in the final selection of the die, she gets a dodge tracker. And the next time she's dealt damage, she can remove that if she'd like to, and stop up to 5 damage coming through from that attack. So she's good at dodging attacks. Alright, so let's play a little bit of this and see if we can't make this game a little bit more clear. Alright, so the Fire Taco picked first. That means the Beefy Taco's up. He says, you know, I think that I'm going to be better off learning a move right away, so I'm going to go back to the dojo and train. Now, the Fire Taco says, oh, well, let's actually train for him. So he's going to pick up this Pepper Punch. Or no, he's going to draw randomly off the top. So he got the Atomic Punch. That is, odd 3 of a kind deals 3 damage, and a full house deals an additional 6 damage. And these are both spicy damage. So he's got to take 2 full turns to learn that. The Fire Taco says, you know what, I'm also going to go back and train, and I'm just going to pick up this. I'm going to pick one randomly off the top as well, because she's benefited for dealing, or for hitting 6s, and this is an odd 3 of a kind, and she wants to learn something quickly and come back out, so she's gonna pick this one up. This one is a tier 2, and it's going to take her a little bit to learn it, but that's okay, so she'll hang out back there and learn that move. The Sneaky Taco says, you know what, I think it's better if I try to put the hurt on the, no, she's going to go back as well. She's saying, I don't care about the other team. I don't think they're going to deal us a lot of damage. I'm going to start learning right away. And she's going to pick up this Cheddar Chop, and she's going to be back here for 2 full turns. No, she's actually going to pick up the Pepper Punch. She wants to learn a move and come back out quickly. So that goes back there. And then the Zen Taco says, you know what, this is my opportunity to strike and deal a lot of damage, because both of the teammates are in the dojo. And if you've got one player on the field of battle, the attacker has to attack that player. But if both Taco Ninjas are in the dojo, any damage that's dealt by the attacker is dealt equally to both. So she's trying to roll big damage here, and she's got this Loco card stashed away in her item section, and if she doesn't hit what she wants, probably just play that card and push through with some extra damage. We've got a couple 3s here. We've got, ooh, that is a full house. That is nice. Well, let's take the sure thing and push through a total of 5 damage to each player over here. So the Sneaky Taco will take, she doesn't have this tracker yet, will take a total of 5 damage down to 25. But she says, you know what, I'm going to play an eye for an eye. And damage done to you is also done to the Taco Ninja dealing you damage. So she's going to play this. This is going to go in the discard pile. And this Taco Ninja is going to take 5 damage. And the Beefy Taco says, you know what, that sounds like a plan to me. I'm also going to use my eye for an eye. So that is a big swing here. But, it's a total of 10 life lost by each team. And the Zen Taco says, oh man, that was rough. I did land an attack, but we were both at full life, me and my buddy here, the Fire Taco, so we didn't get to heal at all, and all that happened after the attack. So I'm just going to play the Toot and Scoot, and now that I've attacked, I'm going to go back to the dojo and start training. So he's tooted and scooted, and he's back there now. He is going to play he's going to pick up the Hertz Donut, and that's now in his hand. And he's flipped over this new knuckle wrap, and so it is back to the first player of the game, the Beefy Taco, and he reveals a line here on the attack, and now next turn he'll be able to come out. He is stuck in the dojo for the turn, so he's going to draw an item card and then pass the turn over to the Fire Taco. She's in the same boat. She's going to reveal this line here, draw an item card for turn, and then her turn's over. The Sneaky Taco has now fully learned this attack, and the Beefy Taco, they're in the same place. The Beefy Taco says, hey, why don't you take all of my item cards, because we're in the same spot, and you take them back out to the field of battle. And now she's attacking the other team. And the other team can't do anything about that. I was thinking that the other team had this Hasta La Vista card, so let's just say that they did. The Hasta La Vista card, she's like, oh, I'm going to attack, but the Hasta La Vista card says, no. Before they roll, send an attacking Taco Ninja back to the dojo. They draw an item card or attack card. So the Zen Taco Ninja miraculously somehow had that and plays it, and the Sneaky Taco is sent back, and she says, fine, I am going to pick up this Cheddar Chop and be stuck back here for 2 full turns. So she is starting to learn that. And now it is over to the Zen Taco. The Zen Taco has fully learned this Hertz Donut, and he comes back out and he says, I'm attacking your dojo. You guys are awful and did a terrible thing to me last round. So he is rolling. He is really hoping that he can hit something, and oh man, he did it. He got 4 2s. So he is dealing a total of 4 damage for the 4 of a kind, plus he's got this 3 of a kind, and a 3 of a kind is contained within a 4 of a kind, so he deals 4, 5, 6, and yeah, both of these players here are taking 6 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because he landed an attack, his ability says that whenever you do that, you get to heal yourself or your teammate too. So he's going to heal himself too, back up to 22. And now it goes back to the Beefy Taco. So play proceeds like this, around and around, until somebody goes to the Afterlife. Now, let's say that the Beefy Taco really just beefed it, and he's now in the Afterlife. So he's removed from the game, but let's say that instead of the Atomic Punch, he actually learned the El Guapo Grapple. There's a couple cards in here that actually, the Baja Belly Bump. Let's say that he learned this one, because there's a couple cards in here that have you healing. If that increase your ability to heal. So now on his turn in the Afterlife, like we talked about earlier, he gets to still roll, but if he rolls a 4 in a row or a 5 in a row, he heals his teammate. And if he learned any attacks during his time on the Earth, it can increase the amount of healing that he gives. So if he rolls a 4 in a row, oh man. He's got a 3, 4, so he's looking for. All right, he's got a 1, 2, 3, 4. He did it, and he's just gonna see if he can get that 5. All right, didn't get it. So he'll heal his teammate for 4, 5, 6, and because she didn't cross over this 15 yet, she gets to heal above that. But if she were down at 10, she'd only get to heal up to 15. So that's how the healing works. Now, if he happened to roll a 5 of a kind. I'm not going to try to do that and waste your time. He gets to come back as a Nacho Ninja with 15 life and all of his learned attacks. Now he's back on the battlefield. And so the game ends whenever you put both Taco Ninjas from the other team into the Afterlife. So that's how you play Taco Ninja. You can play one-on-one where one person controls both Taco Ninjas and they kind of just say where the item cards are being held by each Taco Ninja, or you can play 2-on-1 or 2-on-2, and then the other way that you can play this game is 2-on-2-on-2. And so play progresses in the same way, where the first player from each team goes and the second player from each team goes, and the game ends whenever one team is put into the Afterlife. And when that happens, the two teams that are left on the field of battle add up their total life totals, and whoever has the most life wins the game. So that's Taco Ninja Adventure. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below, or check out Board Game Geek. There will likely be answers there. Thank you very much.